Hello everybody, my name is the Critical Wizard, and welcome back to another edition of Critical Critique. In the past, I've talked about the topic whether or not Batman v Superman was good. Now I feel as though I need to talk about the reason I didn't think the Superman aspect was very good. Today, we're going to be looking at the film prior to Batman v Superman, Man of Steel. And I'm going to be addressing the several problems I had with that film in regards to Superman, which is why going into Batman v Superman, I didn't know if it was going to be a very strong film or what have you. Man of Steel is an interesting film because they captured the powers of Superman quite accurately, you know. When he flew, he broke the sound barrier, which was something that you never saw in the comics or anything like that. So that was a good aspect of it. Like, it was a very realistic take on his powers. However, whereas you have the visuals, they were pretty good. You had a very good villain. Yeah, so you have a pretty good character setup of Jor-El, his father. So you had a couple of things going for this movie. However, there was one very important character that they forgot to develop, and that was Superman. They forgot to develop Superman. You have a movie all about Superman, and one of the few characters you didn't develop was Superman. I mean, there was a lot of other characters you didn't develop either, but you chose to develop two characters, and neither of them were Superman. Like I said before, the two characters they actually chose to develop and you felt their motivations and everything was Zod and Jor-El. Those are very strong characters. You need to have those strong characters because you have Superman's father figure that, I guess because Pa Kent wasn't what he needed to be because of reasons. So instead you have to have Jor-El be that strong father figure. You have to set up that story, and that's a very good character to develop. You have Zod, your main bad guy. Very good character to develop. Because it's like, your bad guy needs a motivation. You need to know why he is who he is and why he does the things that he does. I'm not questioning why you developed those two characters. I'm saying you should have developed another character, which would have been Superman or Clark Kent or something related to that character. At the beginning and the end of the movie, you are left with this completely blank slate. You have no idea who this guy is. You don't know why he does the things he does. And as far as you can tell, he's just acting on whatever whim he feels like that day. Like, at the end of the movie, you see him throw a satellite from space and he's like all making jokes and stuff, and you're like, oh, didn't you just kill a guy in the last scene? What's going on? Who are you? What are you doing? Like, you have no grasp of this person's personality or character because they never bother to tell you. They focus so much in the movie about, like, saying what Superman should stand for, what your symbol means, all this and that, but they never once had Clark sit down and be like, this is how I feel, or I don't know how I should feel, or anything of, I feel this, I think this. It's always just, no, you're destined for greatness. You were born amongst the stars. You will bring man peace. It's like, that's great and all, but who am I? What do I do? What am I here for? Not to mention, it's the things he does in Man of Steel never really felt like Superman to begin with. Because it's like, yes, you don't have to establish a character if the person portraying the character or the director or whatever does the portrayal for you. Like Tony Stark in the first Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr., perfect pick. You didn't have to develop that character at all. As soon as Robert Downey Jr. walks out on screen, in the first, 3 seconds, you can tell everything about that character's personality. You know what he's doing. You know who he is. You know what kind of way he deals with things. With this Superman, you see him throughout the whole film, and you never know what he's gonna do. There's a great little comic floating around out there where it's like the traditional Superman, like, you know, a woman is going to be, like, you know, jumping off a building to her death. Superman shows up, talks to her, and it's like, hey, come on, I'm going to be here for you. Don't do this. And he talks her down. Then, in the same comic, there's someone else, like, they made a parody of something, where it's like, this is the Zack Snyder Superman. You see the same woman standing on the, like, building ready to jump, and suddenly Superman just comes flying through the building and destroys everything in, like, a 6-mile radius or something. And it's like, that is the Superman you presented. There is no concept of him being super other than his powers. At the, like, even if Superman had lost against Zod, you wouldn't have cared. Zod would have killed Superman and you'd be like, sweet, next movie. Because guess what? You never established who Superman was. People who went into the movie knew who Superman was, but then they saw your movie and thought, that doesn't feel like Superman. I don't think Superman would do that. Why is Superman choosing to have this world-ending battle in the middle of his city, killing millions? What is this? There's one thing if, like, say, Zod attacked the city and did the destruction he did, and Superman was like, okay, now I'm angry. It's like, you've destroyed the thing I love, I have to destroy you. That would explain why he was so violent at the end of the film. But no, it's like Superman purposely keeps Zod in the city. Like, he'll punch Zod out into space or whatever, and Superman will purposely punch Zod back into the city in people's harm's way. It's like, dude, you're purposely putting these people in harm's way, and you're the superhero? Are you sure you're not just a confused villain? At the end of the film, Superman's kill count is just about up there with Zod's, so... that was my problem going into Batman v Superman, is like, in your last movie, a movie dedicated to solely Superman, you didn't even bother developing any character about this guy whatsoever. The same can kind of be said about Batman v Superman, like, because, like, he's hoping that there was enough of a character from Man of Steel that he doesn't have to develop Superman at all. And it's like, dude, you didn't bother developing him in either of the movies. We still don't know who this guy is or what he wants or his motives. There's a little cute montage of him saving people, but other than that, it's like, we don't know what this guy does. We don't know anything about this guy. He's just some lunatic with powers. And then you see Batman, the only, like, you know, I was so happy that, like, I was so afraid going into this film, it was just going to be two people with no backgrounds just smashing into each other for like 2 hours. I was so glad they actually developed Batman. So, when Batman's, like, you know, has this crazy line of, it's like, if there's a 1% chance he's our enemy, we have to take him down or whatever, you know what? You can actually kind of feel for this guy. Because he's just as clueless as everyone else. We're like, we have no idea who this guy is. He has the power to destroy our planet, and he's just flying up there, and it's like, we don't know what he's going to do. No one knows what he's going to do. He doesn't bother to, like, you know, be Superman. He's just some lunatic. I understand where Batman may have been coming from. It's like, you know, if you just saw the destruction of Metropolis, and you saw this guy flying around, being like that, like, weirdo who had the same powers as the supposed bad guy, you'd be like, okay, I believe it. This guy's a lunatic. Who knows when he's just gonna start destroying the planet or something. But yes, so that was my little gripe about Man of Steel, and I guess a little bit of Batman v Superman. It's like, they never bothered to establish who Superman was. They never cared. So why should we? So, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, leave a like to let me know. And if not, that's alright. And I'll see you guys in the next part. Bye!